Yeah, they hate when you.
ATP, what it do with your boy Clay Rain? It's that ATP Combat Media Show. Shout out to all my subscribers. If this is your first time tapping into content, listen, I'm going to go ahead and invite you to go ahead and hit that subscription button. Hit your bell icon right close to it so you get an alert when all this content is dropping. Yeah, Diego Pacheco last night. Great performance last night as Diego Pacheco and Maciej Zulinski showcased last night, headlined in the Los Angeles Card in front of his hometown, right? And put on a great performance, to be honest with you. Quick breakdown of the fight. Let's see, man. The fight starts off great. Zulinski really trying to really take his control of the real estate, keep this fight a mid-range fight, right? Coming into this fight at Diego Pacheco standing at 6'4" with an 80-inch plus arm reach, athletic, but more importantly, a power puncher, right? And really punches hard. And Zulinski knew that was something he wanted to neutralize. And of course, what's the best way for a 6'1" guy to neutralize the power of a 6'4" puncher? Well, let's get the fight mid-range, right? Zulinski understood that, was trying to get under those jabs and did a pretty good job of his first like 2 rounds, I would say, getting under the jab, attacking the body, committing to the body, hitting him in the chest, hitting him with what was available to him, right? Not trying to headhunt per se. And you know, obviously probably didn't want to walk into nothing nasty that Diego Pacheco be thrown back at him. But when you think about it, Diego Pacheco's power is really at the end of his punches, right? His ability to go ahead and extend and reach all the way out of the punches, the power's at the end of his punch. So keeping it mid-range as much as he could. And, you know, Diego Pacheco on the opposite side of this conversation was definitely looking to go the opposite direction, right? He didn't want it to be mid-range. He wanted to establish the distance, stay behind that jab, and then walk Zulinski into something pretty nasty. That's what I thought going into the fight, and pretty much is what was happening for the first 2.5 rounds or so before Diego Pacheco was able to establish that distance, get that respect from Zulinski by connecting with some good right hands, and had Zulinski. Excuse me, I just got a phone call. How to put it down. Had Zulinski finally respect that power and was able to establish that distance once Zulinski became more concerned with, you know, not getting hit and, you know, kind of staying away from Diego, which was probably his undoing, right? Because that just gave Diego Pacheco real easy, take his time, had no pressure on him. Zulinski stopped putting the pressure on him as hard as he was putting on him, and ultimately causing Zulinski to have to take chances. Once he got himself out of that mid-range, he'd have to jump in now to take some opportunities. And, you know, kudos and celebrate Jose Benavidez Sr., who saw that and they were ready to take advantage of that. They kind of understood, let's get to the game plan now that he's where we want him to be. Let's commit to getting his hands to stay up. And he did by connecting with those right hands, I believe in around the 5th round. Don't quote me, but mid-range to the end of the 5th round, and was able to shake Zulinski. Really had him dancing. Looked like he was getting ready to go down. But, you know, almost saved by the bell. But in the 6th round, continuing with that same campaign, and ultimately was able to walk him in something really nasty by throwing all those jabs and getting Zulinski to commit to keeping his hands up. Was able to set him up perfectly for a beautiful, just like masterclass in landing a liver shot. Perfect liver shot. I'll be honest with you, Diego Pacheco didn't even hit him that hard in the liver. It was just so accurate and on the button that it just curled him right over, folded him right over, ended Zulinski with a body shot. What a showing in front of his hometown, and made a statement for the 168-pound weight class division, right? Here I am, and I'm going to be one of those guys that you guys have to worry about. You know, whenever you have those tall, 6'4", long arm reach, 80-inch arm reach punchers, you know, they cause issues because it's an awkward style to fight against, and you have to take a lot of chances to get these guys out the way, right? You got to take some chances, and when you got somebody who can make you pay the way Diego Pacheco can make you pay, it's something to weigh out, right? You got to weigh it out. So needless to say, after a great win like that, and brought his beautiful little daughter in the ring with him, and, you know, pretty much put the division on notice and let him know he's ready for all the top guys. And Eddie Hearn co-signed him, of course. And said, listen, man, we're ready for the big fights. And now that Diego Pacheco is up there, right? He's up there in the WBO rankings, and probably the next guy, on paper, that would be a potential mandatory for Canelo Alvarez, right? So they're looking to get in the Canelo Alvarez sweepstakes. Now, keep in mind, of course, Edgar Berlanga and Canelo Alvarez will be going at it on September 14th, and you know, you don't want to count your eggs before they hatch. Edgar Berlanga could definitely win this fight. I think most people are picking Canelo Alvarez to come out on top in that situation, and then let's see what his fights are what he's gonna be looking to do, probably all the way in May, right? So he has until between now and May next year to kind of figure it out. What's he going to do until then? Well, Eddie Hearn made it clear that activity was going to be very important for Diego Pacheco, because although his ranking says that he's going to be a legitimate mandatory for Canelo Alvarez, maybe his skill set and his experience isn't matching it yet, and he wants to try to get him as much time in the ring in between his time as possible, and be more focused on the development of Diego Pacheco. So some names were brought up, like and Billy were brought up, Jaime Munguia, Caleb Plant, and Eric Bazinian, was brought up. These are some of the fighters that were brought up as potential contenders that he would like to see Diego in the ring with. Now, if I had to do elimination type of situation, I'm telling you, those four fighters are all pretty much busy, right? You got Eric Bazinian, who's actually going to be fighting Jaime Munguia at the end of this month, around September 20th. He'll be fighting Jaime Munguia. Then you have Christian Mbili, who just came off a fight. He's kind of free. He's kind of freed up, right? He just came off a fight. Maybe that might be the fight they might be trying to pursue. And then you have I just told you Jaime Munguia and Bazinian, and you got Caleb Plant at the end of this month as well. Well, he's going to be fighting on the undercard mid-month, September 14th. He'll be fighting against I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he definitely has a fight that he has to get through. So Diego Pacheco has time, spend time with his family, kind of figure out what his next move is going to be. They want to make sure that he can get at least 2 fights in, hopefully, ideally, before that May area comes around, or let's be honest, probably around that April, right? April, February. No, excuse me, April, March, April. Yeah, March area, February, March area, where he's probably going to be looking to line up, get himself together for a potential opportunity in May to fight against Canelo Alvarez. So, yeah, we'll see what it's going to look like for Diego Pacheco, but he definitely removed all doubt, right? His last performance was all right. I think he faced an awkward fighter who was a mover, a good boxer, really slick in his own way, and caused Diego Pacheco to kind of look average, look regular. But you get those fighters that present those issues, those boxers come in the ring and present those issues. But without a doubt, what he showed last night is something that the whole 168-pound division, for the most part, would have some good matchups in there, right? Because not that many boxers ahead of him. Christian Mbili is a step forward power puncher. Bazinian has a pretty high knockout ratio. Caleb Plant is a boxer, so that would give Diego Pacheco some issues if you were to look to fight Diego Pacheco. But I'll be honest with you, I don't think Caleb Plant is in Diego Pacheco's future. He's a PBC fighter. On top of that, looking to also make a run at Canelo Alvarez. So we'll see what that looks like for Caleb Plant. But and Jaime Munguia, we already know how he performs and what he delivers. So, a great dance partner in Diego Pacheco in the 168-pound division. Jose Benavidez Sr. gets another shot. Is still in the race in the Canelo Alvarez sweepstakes. His son was definitely, rejected by Canelo Alvarez and moved up to 175 pounds to compete up there. But Canelo is not going to escape the Benavidez family that easily, as Diego Pacheco looks like he's a legitimate dancing partner for Canelo Alvarez. So we'll see how it all pans out, but congratulations to Diego Pacheco. Great performance last night. Gave the statement that I think he needed to in this fight. He was expected to stop this guy. Keep in mind that Maciej Sulecki was never been stopped before. He's been down before, but never been stopped before. So this was a big deal for Diego Pacheco to pull this off last night. Let's see what the next things are going to be for him as time moves on. Let's see what Eddie Hearn's able to put together for him. Eddie Hearn with another hot one in the building, another big contender in the building last night. So congratulate them. Congratulate to Matchroom. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. Diego Pacheco, where do you see him at? Where do you rate him as? Is he ready for these big challenges? I mean, clearly Canelo Alvarez would be a huge challenge for him. But what about these guys that we just mentioned, the Christian Mbilis, the Jaime Munguias, the Caleb Plants, right? Eric Bazinians. What do you think he looks like in there? Is he one of those top guys? Is he potentially the guy behind a Jaime Munguia, right? Or Caleb Plant? You let me know what you think. It's your boy Rain. Remember, guys, if you haven't subscribed, I invite you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell icon to get all your alerts when this content is put out there. Share, comment, like. Talk to you guys on the next one. At this point, we out, guys.